Alright, hello everyone, it is October 29th, and we're going over some more spoilers for Commander Legends. Looking like it's going to be a really fun set. We have a reprint here for some dwarf from Kaladesh, I forget exactly what it does. And we get a reprint from Zendikar. This is a core creature, 4 mana white, it enters the battlefield, and you get a Plains card onto the battlefield tapped, I believe. And we get our first translation card, Livio, Oathsworn Knight. 2 mana white legendary creature, human knight. This is a partner commander. And 2 abilities. The first one is 1 mana in white. Choose another target creature. Its controller may have it exiled with a divinity counter on it. And the second ability is 3 mana and tap. Return all creatures with a divinity counter on them from exile to the battlefield under their owner's control. So you get kind of a weird blink strategy. Although it's not going to be as quick, you do have to depend on that second ability to get them back. I guess the nice thing about it is that those cards are exiled with divinity counters on it, so if you ever have to play Livio again, you can always pay the ability and get them back at a later time. And then we get Court of Ambitions, a 4 mana black enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. So we're bringing back the Monarch with brand new cards in this set, and it looks really sweet. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the Monarch, instead, each opponent loses 6 life unless they discard 2 cards. So this is very similar to that card Painful Quandary. They're discarding or they're losing life. Very powerful. Then we get a reprint in Hunter's Insight. 3 mana green instant. It's pretty cool. You choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, you draw those many cards. And then we get a Golgari color, just a 2 mana legendary zombie elf, Belbe or Belb, Corrupted Observer. At the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds 2 mana to colorless mana for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. So this seems like a cool strategy with the Viashino from yesterday. That's pretty much mana burn all over again. And then we get Patron of the Valiant, 5 mana white angel with flying. When Patron of the Valiant enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this might be a reprint. I don't recognize the artwork. We get another court card, Court of Grace, 4 mana white enchantment. When Court of Grace enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the Monarch, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying instead. So if you like Queen Marchesa, look out because you get a lot of cool Monarch related cards. Then we get another partner commander, Kellers, Sunmane Familiar, 2 mana white horse. Whenever a commander you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on Kellers. So nothing super interesting here, but I guess if you have a token strategy with a partner commander. And then we get Archon of Coronation, 6 mana, 5/5 flying Archon. When Archon of Coronation enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. And as long as you're the Monarch, damage doesn't cause you to lose life. So you have a way to pretty much stop your opponents from even hurting you. In a Monarch strategy, the goal is to kind of keep the Monarch and hold on to it because you get rewarded for it. So if you're the Monarch, you're not going to be losing life off of damage. And then we get Jeska's Will, 3 mana red sorcery. You choose one if you control a commander. As you cast the spell, you may choose both. First mode is add a red for each card in target opponent's hand. The second mode is exile the top 3 cards of your library. You get to play them this turn. So that's a pretty valuable red spell in Commander, obviously. Anything that can add more red to your pool. I mean, this could make it a free cast, essentially, in a mono red deck. This is totally what I would consider a staple. Then we have Jeska, Thrice Reborn, so this is the Planeswalker. Don't think I talked about her before, but she enters the battlefield with a loyalty counter on it for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. So this and the fact that she has partner means that you can have another partner commander that you can cast several times, get her out there, and she has even more loyalty. She doesn't have any pluses, but she has a 0. Choose target creature until your next turn. If that creature would deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage to that player instead. So that's pretty crazy. And her -X is Jeska deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets, which is also good. You can easily kill off other planeswalkers this way. You can kill off tiny creatures this way. Very good abilities. And then we get this cool looking guy, Dargo the Shipwrecker. He's a whopping 7 mana, legendary giant pirate in red, 7/5. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may sacrifice any number of artifacts and or creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this way, and 2 less to cast for each other artifact or creature you've sacrificed this turn. So if you have a deck that's all about sacrificing, he should be pretty easy to play. And he does have trample. Also a partner option, so you can partner him up with some other commanders. We get a Myriad Landscape reprint. We get another reprint. This is from Commander 2017. It's the land that lets you scry if you cast a creature that shares a creature type with your commander. We get a Ludwig reprint from Commander 2016. We get Laboratory Servant, 4 mana blue zombie horror. At the beginning of each end step, you draw a card if you cast a spell from a graveyard or activated an ability of a card in a graveyard this turn. So giving you more card draw that might be useful for certain strategies. We get Captain's Call. I believe this is a reprint, 4 mana white sorcery to create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. We get First Response, 4 mana white enchantment. I think this is also a reprint. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And we have Doomed Traveler, another reprint. Zur the Enchanter with the newer artwork. That's pretty sweet. Gift of Paradise, another reprint. And we get some pretty cool cards. Also some reprints as you can see, but we have Rograk, Son of Roga. Kind of like Uhtred, Son of Uhtred. So a 0 mana Kobold Warrior. And this is kind of the cool thing about Kobolds is that they're also 0 converted mana cost, 0/1 tokens. So we pretty much get a Kobold Commander option that's exactly the same thing. Even has the red dot there because it doesn't have a mana cost symbol for red. So it is a red spell because of that little red dot. First Strike, Menace, and Trample, and has Partner. So it's a 0/1. The idea, obviously, to give it equipment or to pump it up in some other way and take advantage of those good keywords. We get a reprint here. This is a 2 mana blue creature that comes into play and lets you scry 2. We get Preordain, which is a good reprint. And the last card to spoil today is Elegeth, Crossroads Augur. 6 mana blue legendary Flying Sphinx. If you would look at any number of cards while scrying, draw that many cards instead. This is also a partner commander option, which I think is fantastic. We have so many blue cards that say scry, and scrying is already good, but if you can just replace scrying with drawing, that's even better. Because then you could take advantage of that creature that enters the battlefield and lets you scry 2. It's going to let you draw 2 instead. That's just insane. I really like this mechanic. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for October 29th. Halloween's right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to some fun. Hope you guys are too. Have a wonderful day. Void here signing off. See you all next time.